Okay, we're back. George, how'd it go?
I feel 10 times better. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Well, you didn't really give me a choice. So
yeah,
now that you're back...
because if I did, you would have said no.
Exactly.
So fuck you, man.
I was telling Chris, I was like, fuck, this is not the guy you want to take on a road trip with you. You'd be like getting on the highway and you'd be like, I gotta pee. I gotta pee. Can we stop at Hannaford on the way to the highway so I can pee?
Yes.
I don't remember that about you, though. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so we're almost done, but I kind of wanted to get you guys' biggest surprise and biggest disappointment of everything that you watched. Because that was kind of what was most interesting to me. It was like the movies that I kind of had expectations of, and then they, they were totally different than what I thought. So George, what movie surprised you the most, like in a positive way?
Oh, in a positive way.
Yeah.
I would have to say Monster Squad, because I went into it thinking, oh, this is gonna be, just a shitty kids horror movie.
Right.
But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I was very happy about that.
It didn't feel like a knockoff of the Goonies, though.
I mean, there's a lot of movies where it's a group of kids. I mean, think Sandlot,
Stand By Me.
Yeah, exactly. That's slashers are a big thing. This is another big thing. Right. So it didn't feel like a knockoff of the Goonies at all to me.
Yeah. Even though instead of Chunk they had a fat kid.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. But there's always
a fat kid too. Yeah. Exactly.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Your token fat kid. We've got one. Like, it works.
So what was your biggest disappointment?
Biggest disappointment? Oh man. Evil Dead 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I really thought you'd say Bubba Hotep.
I mean, Bubba Hotep I always knew was slow going in.
I know, but it's a movie you had always said how much you love.
I know, I've turned tried to turn several people onto it. They also know.
No, they're all like, dude, get your fucking head out of your ass. This movie's dumb.
Yeah. But no, Evil Dead 2, I don't remember disliking it at all.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't dislike Bubba Hotep watching it. I just got bored.
Dude, Evil Dead 2 is to you what The Crow is to Chris.
No.
Well, the way you're talking tonight, it sounds like it is.
No way.
Because you have shit on Evil Dead 2 like 100 times.
I know, but I only watched 7 movies, so there's not a lot to compare it to in this section.
Could have watched 10, but...
we only had 10 weeks to do it.
Yeah.
You know what's great about our show is that we don't let anything go. So like we're gonna ride this at least.
How can we let it go? It's recorded.
No, but like we like to beat dead horses. We're into that.
Sure. Flog them.
All right. So those are your biggest surprise and disappointment.
Yeah.
I that makes sense. All right, Chris, biggest surprise.
Exorcist.
The Exorcist. Yeah.
So I remember it being good.
You remember it being good.
But,
and you were pleasantly surprised that it was good.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome fucking movie. Yeah. Let's be real. Yeah. But I think what I was most surprised about is how it wears on you, and I don't remember it grinding me to death the entire time. So I think, especially having an appreciation for stuff, like Apocalypse Now and stuff, understanding what the movie's doing to me. So that was definitely the biggest surprise.
Yeah, I think one thing I was shocked with when I watched The Exorcist the last time I watched it was like how fucked up it is. Like, I couldn't believe a movie that old was that fucked up.
Yeah, man, it's
like especially like the total like disregard for anything sacred.
Let Jesus fuck you. And she's taking. Oh my god, man!
I was like, I can't believe they made that movie.
Like when the priest walks in, she's like finger banging herself or something. It's like, this movie is outrageous.
Yeah, dude.
Like, so we saved that till the end too. And you said you were surprised by it. I'm like, fucking me too.
Yeah, dude. And I knew it, but you know it. It's kind of like in the back of your mind. But when you're actually watching it, like, I can't fucking believe. Because when was that made? In the 70s?
I feel like it's been too long since I've seen it because I'm not remembering these kinds of things.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I knew I'd seen it. I knew it was good, but damn.
And the fact that it's a little girl adds a lot to how fucked up it is.
Yeah.
Because, like...
she's 10 or 12 in the movie, something like that.
All right, so that was your biggest surprise. You're pleasantly surprised by the girl.
You ready for this?
fucking Jesus
Let
or whatever.
Jesus fuck you.
Yeah. So my mom listens to our show.
Oh no!
Found that out.
Don't watch The Exorcist.
Well, all right.
Makes me feel bad about myself.
No, don't. That's why I didn't want to tell you guys. But all right. Biggest disappointment.
Child's Play.
Really? It was in your top 3.
I know, man.
Wow.
But he was expecting it to be top 1, I think.
Yeah, man. It just nothing can replace the nostalgia. It's always going to be one of my. I don't even know if I can say it's my favorite anymore, but nothing can replace that. I think I just wanted the same.
For posterity's sake, would it have been better to have not rewatched it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was good that you rewatched it in the middle of a bunch of other movies you had never seen, because it put it in a place among everything else.
It definitely put It definitely put it into, like, it's so straightforward too.
Yeah.
And whether you've seen it or not, you can kind of tell what's coming.
The story's pretty direct.
Yeah. So as much as I love that movie, it was also, out of everything I watched, I gained a lot from basically everything I watched. Right. I gained in that one. It was just kind of.
But the other thing is that none of the other movies you watched you had ever seen. Or, like, most of them you didn't remember seeing, right?
Correct. I mean, all those 1940s,
they
30s.
all had the potential of pleasantly surprising you. Child's Play really didn't have that card to play.
Right.
Because you'd seen it.
It couldn't be better than you were expecting.
Right, exactly. Right. I mean, it could have been. But
its odds were much lower.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, good, man. All right, so I'm going to pick 2 movies that I did not put in my top or bottom, just because I can talk about more movies that way.
But are they truly the biggest surprise and biggest disappointment, or are you excluding?
So let me start by saying this, okay? For biggest surprise, I might have said The Faculty because, like I said, I remembered not really thinking it was great and then really, really enjoying it when I rewatched it. But I want to talk about another movie that I was very pleasantly surprised with, which was Maximum Overdrive.
I'm not sure I know.
Which is a 1986 movie. It's based on a Stephen King novella. And basically there's a comet that passes by Earth, and in its tail we have a radiation storm. And in the radiation storm, all these anything that's a machine comes to life. And apparently has a bloodthirst. So nice. It's there's like a lawnmower that's trying to attack a kid that's covered in the blood of somebody else, and it primarily centers around a big truck, like an 18-wheeler, that has the face of the Green Goblin on it.
Oh, wow.
Now, they don't say it's the face of the Green Goblin, but it's literally the face of the Green Goblin. It's even got like the purple thing and everything.
This sounds very familiar to me. I may have seen this.
It was really fun, and like it did a really good job of being funny, and also it was mostly just funny. It was like, it reminded me a lot of like Tremors, where you have like a group of people and they're sort of trapped in a spot by these monsters outside. Mm-hmm. But the people are really funny because they're kind of like trashy and silly. There's like a Bible salesman who's like a wicked fucking asshole. He's like, he's like selling these Bibles, and he's like, this will, the Psalms and all this, it'll get you right with the Lord. And then he sees the truck hitting his car, and he doesn't know that the vehicles are possessed yet. And he's like in the middle of talking about how the Bible will change these people's lives. And he's like, oh, you motherfucker! Get back here! So he's great. He's this total caricature. And then there's like a newly married couple who are super funny and really dumb. And then our hero of the movie is fucking Emilio Estevez.
Nice.
So that helps anybody's chances.
Yeah, dude. So, and he kind of resembles Kevin Bacon a lot. So that's another.
Movies that don't have him, movies that just reference him, are better for it.
He's got an amazing name. I mean, it's not his given name, but it's
the most recent movie I watched with him was Snipers with Stallone.
Oh yeah, not the Mighty Ducks.
No, I forgot he's in that.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. And I got it the other surprise with it was that dude was selling it on Instagram for $1, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna get that. So I got it, ordered it, and got it in time to watch it.
Nice.
So the biggest disappointment, and this kind of ties in with something that I was talking about with my bottom 3, and it's kind of for the series, but I'll primarily focus on the first movie, is Nightmare on Elm Street. I anticipated being really, not scared, but like getting really into it. And it was too goofy. That's really what it amounted to. And the first movie, I thought if any movie's going to pull it off well, it's going to be the first one.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times with these horror movies, the first one does really well, so they make a bunch of sequels that just
progressively get worse, usually. Yeah.
But I didn't think it was great. It was okay, but I thought it borrowed heavily from like Halloween. Like there was like different people in different houses, and then they were kind of like moving. They were like teenagers, and they were kind of like moving around from house to house, and like it felt a lot like what was happening at the end of Halloween.
Right.
I like the idea of like this guy that can kill you in your dreams. I like the idea of like the psychosis that comes with like getting no sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see a new movie, a new Nightmare on Elm Street made.
Like done seriously?
Yeah, like done well, yeah. Even if it's not done seriously, like keep some funniness to it, but just do it well. And I feel like you should probably introduce like meth or something into the story, right? Like something that really fucking keeps you awake. Because they're like taking no-dos. I'm like, fuck no-dos, man. Meth will keep you awake for days. So,
true story.
Yeah, so Nightmare on Elm Street was probably my biggest disappointment. But, you know, even that was fine. I was glad to have seen it. So, and I think, and I have like, I bought like the DVD, like 8-pack. So I think I'll probably continue to watch the rest of them, just, you know, to say that I have.
Right. I mean, you own it. So
I like Freddy. Like, I like that he's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he's like kind of having a good time with torturing people. They just got to do a little bit better with it. But who the fuck am I to say? I mean, clearly people like these movies.
Speaking of Freddy, have you seen? Well, it's not speaking of Freddy at all. Have you seen Drop Dead Fred?
Dude, I found Drop Dead Fred at the fucking Goodwill the other day. I was like, yoink.
Have you seen it?
Of course I fucking seen it.
I feel like I have.
I love it when he slides under the woman. No panties.
I don't remember that, so maybe I haven't seen it.
And the mother, her mother is the Mega Beast, right? And she shuts his head in the refrigerator door.
Have you watched it since you picked it up, or is this?
No, but I've seen it a few times.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, damn.
Love Drop Dead Fred. So anyway, final thoughts on the month of horrors. What you did, George? Did you enjoy doing it?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
Good.
Just to be honest, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I don't. I don't know. I felt pressured to watch movies that I didn't really feel like watching, and I don't.
You could have watched any fucking
movie you wanted to.
I know.
Right.
I my heart wasn't in it as much as I wanted it to be. The biggest disappointment was just me.
That was my disappointment, because I thought this is something you could run with, because I thought there's a lot of movies that you like that are in genres that would work well for the month of horrors.
That's true. There are a lot of movies that
and
I like.
You could have a lot to say about them. Like your first one was really good, the Evil Dead one, where you had like information and shit, and like you were pumped about it. So yeah, I was kind of bummed.
Yeah. So I apologize, because it was a great idea.
Yeah.
And I'm still glad that you and part of me did it. You know, but
motherfucker.
My time's not up. Maybe I'll do it.
Well, you're not getting the one out for the 24th.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So one of our extras will have to be posted.
All right.
Chris, final thoughts.
This was a lot of work.
Yeah.
This was hard. But being able to look back at the movies that I've watched that I probably wouldn't have watched otherwise, at least not for another year.
Yeah.
Because of my huge collection,
right.
Halloween would have passed, and these movies would have passed.
What about your huge erection? What was that?
It's giant.
Oh, yes.
So,
It's Bela Lugosi.
I am happy.
Man, I get it.
I'm happy that we did it.
Yeah.
I got a lot of history, and I know a lot about horror movies now.
Yeah.
Like stuff that people wouldn't. There's still a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But I know a lot more.
You know a lot of the very early history of it, which I think is super cool. Do you think they could make a silent horror film now?
And have it have the same effect as Forward to? I don't.
Not the same effect because because so much has happened in the history of movie making. But do you think they could do it? I mean, they could fucking go find old cameras. They could do it.
Just eliminate the sound from you don't.
But not just that, but like you got to get
you have to overact everything. You've got to plan all of the shots to be able to explain the story mime-like.
But you got
to looking like a
But
fucking
what's
mime.
weird is like they didn't have to think about that.
Right.
You do it now. You have to think about it. Or else
I think they
come
could
off
do it.
anachronistic.
You have to have some really good fucking actors, though.
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis as the bad guy.
Fucking Daniel Day-Lewis.
To remove themselves from how they're used to doing it and try to...
I think it'd be cool. I feel like The Lighthouse is kind of along those lines with Robert Pattinson.
Is that black and white?
It's black and white. It's not silent, but it has this like weird sort of old style feel. Like the motion a lot. I've only seen the trailers. But in the trailers, some of the motion seems kind of fast, almost like the old movies.
That was the most fucked up thing about Nosferatu 2. They're walking, but it's like fast walking. You're almost running.
It's because there's not enough frames per second, so it's like speeding it up. Yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts of that movie, to be honest. Like, what the fuck's going on?
I think it would be a cool project for somebody to try to make a silent film.
We should.
Dude, you couldn't even commit to fucking watching movies. Now you want to make a movie?
I didn't say I would. I said I should. I should have watched those movies.
So my thought on the month of horrors was like, it was a lot of fun. I think it would be more fun if we spread the duties out a little more to some friends. Plus, it would just get more people involved. And the more people involved, I think the more fun
starting to sound like a pyramid scheme.
I don't want anyone's money, and I'm not saying, Chris, go find 3 people and then ask those 3 people to find 3 people. I'm just saying we have a few friends, and it would be cool if next time maybe we could rope them into watching a couple movies and making videos for us. Just because I had a lot of fun doing it, and I think it'd just be more fun to get more people involved.
It was only a lot of work because of everything I have going on. It's not like it was actually hard.
Yeah.
I enjoyed, especially when I involved Pam with it. It was more enjoyable for me.
Yeah, that was another really fun part, was that Stephanie got super into it. And it sort of it changed the course of how I did it. Because originally I was planning on just I'm going to do a chunk of Nightmare, I'm going to do a chunk of Halloween, and I'm going to do a chunk of Friday the 13th. And I'm really glad I didn't go down that route, because I think, 1, it would get very redundant and boring. And 2, it went a different direction because I was doing it with Stephanie, and that's how we got into all of those 90s slasher movies, which were a fucking blast to watch, because that is the shit that I grew up watching.
Right.
And there's a lot of teenage memories tied into watching those movies for me.
Hell yeah.
And then plus I got to hang out with my wife and make videos. So I had fun. Glad we did it. We fucking launched our YouTube channel, so now we got to figure out what the fuck we're gonna do with that after this. I don't want it to sit there silent until next October.
That's the plan. As we said, no more like offshoots, no more different,
Well, I had brought up the idea of doing our show You Pick 'em tonight, but we're not doing it. But I was already looking.
I have ideas for that, but
I was already looking to. Do an offshoot of some sort. So.
Well, I have a lot of ideas. So if you're on the YouTube channel, keep your eyes peeled, because we're going to try to keep doing stuff on there. Not sure what yet, but stuff.
If you're not on the YouTube channel,
then get on the fucking YouTube channel. And you can all this shit we're talking about. All this shit we're talking about.
You could watch us.
There are they can watch the videos of the original videos we made that we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, you should check out Dan and Chris's videos.
And George's. Evil Dead.
7.
Evil Dead was good. And the rest of them take about 5 minutes to watch.
I'm not happy with any of mine, to be honest. I wish I had a better criteria for them, but
you know what? I thought it was fun. Like the last couple I made are super goofy. Like I basically say Jack Frost is the greatest horror movie ever made, just because I'm just like, fuck it, let's just have fun with it. But you know, no one gives a shit what we think about movies. They just want to laugh at us. So, whatever.
That's a good plan. Because we have pretty uninformed opinions.
Pretty uninformed, but you know, Chris was bringing the information.
Yeah,
no, it was not.
You know?
He has become informed.
He is definitely.
You know what? During the recaps in each, like the review in each video, like I'm still processing it, and then like 2 days later, I'm like, damn, man, like here's all the shit that I learned or didn't know. Yeah. So I'm always like after the fact.
That's all right, man.
I'm that guy that gets in an argument with you, and then like
and then
2 days later, I'm like motherfucker, I sure said this.
Yeah, dude. So I think everybody does that. Even I do that, and I feel like I'm fairly good at arguing.
You're pretty good at arguing.
But I still walk away saying, I should have fucking said that. All right.
I usually walk away and forget.
Well,
surprise.
Happy Halloween, everybody. And this is the last installment in the Movie Sellers Month of Horror.
Bye.
Peace.